It was the darkest point of my life because there was no end to it. BBC radio host stalked by ex-staff member, 42 tells court how tsunami of hate left him undergoing counselling and contemplating suicide, giving evidence to Nottingham Crown Court under his full name of Bernie Keith Spedding. He said his reputation is now in shreds after proclamations of hate and death threats, which have affected his health. Prosecutors allege that Belfield, who hosts a radio channel on YouTube, waged a relentless 9-year campaign of stalking against 8 victims, including ex-colleagues, after BBC radio leads did not renew his contract in 2011. Addressing the jury in the third week of the trial, Mr. Keith said Belfield's YouTube videos, emails and social media messages had included highly abusive language and a threat to hound you for the rest of your life. I had this naked hate being piled on me every day, and I had to be funny, and I had to entertain people. This was the darkest point of my life because there was no end to it. I pleaded with him, Belfield, to stop. I had gone to the police to make it stop, and it was just getting worse. In April last year I collapsed at my home, and had to be taken to hospital. I can't remember when I have had a run of good sleep of longer than 5 hours. I am caught in a constant cycle of exhaustion and fatigue. Belfield had made a bogus claim that he had been sacked, Mr. Keith said, adding, "It was all too much." BBC DJ tells Alex Belfield's stalking trial he needed security guards to walk him to his car. BBC presenter Bernie Keith believed death threats were phoned into the BBC, and he was not allowed to be in the building alone, because of the tsunami of haters, a jury heard. A security firm was brought in to wait as he conducted his shows. Listeners would ring up, and were put on air, but Keith could not risk one of Belfield's supporters, who Keith said were asked, invited or encouraged by Mr. Belfield, to give him a ring. He collapsed at home with peritonitis, an infection of the inner lining of the tummy, and needed an operation which meant he would not be able to present his regular rock and roll slot. 3 counts of stalking relate to Belfield's time at BBC Radio Leeds, on a fixed-term contract that ran for 1 year between spring 2010 and spring 2011. Belfield's contract was then not renewed, and he left the BBC in 2011. Prosecuting, John McGuinness QC had told the court, "The prosecution suggests that Alex Belfield was, or became, disgruntled by what he perceived to be his unfair treatment while he was at the BBC.